Hi, Salam Alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Another broadcast of Critical Analytics. Today, 18th of June, 2021, we saw the political wrangling, political chaos between Republicans and Democrats. They're trying to pass these bills. The Democrats are playing to so-called black vote. And we see all kinds of turmoil in the country, around the world. The major focus in the world is America and the Middle East false Israel. What does all this mean? There's so many things going on. But the primary focus is American politics and false Israel over in the Middle East. And we have two opposing views. See, two conflicting views between so-called Democrats and Republicans. And we see, in general, blacks and wholesale support a Democratic Party. So let's look at this support, because it's crucial to what's going on right now. It's crucial. So we're going to do some critical analytics on that relationship, because that's what's in the news now. See, the Democrats trying to take over everything, and they have a senile leader, by all accounts. I don't know how you can call it any other way. So in reality, right now, the primary focus is on the Democratic Party in the world and false Israel over in the Middle East. See, and their relationship with Russia and China, right, and the force of the Middle East. That's pretty much everything sorts out. So let me see something here right quick. Let me see, how would I do this? Okay. Pardon for a minute, brothers and sisters. No, I don't want to change this either. So I'll leave it as it is for now. Leave it as it is for now. I'm not sure. I changed. Okay, I'll leave it as it is for now. So what's the Democratic Party? What's that all about? How did that come into existence? Well, in general, the Democratic Party was like the first party, and it was the party of the slaveholders in the South. They were almost all Democrats. And then you had the Republican Party up north. They weren't any better, but you had a few slaveholders, but most of them, America was entering into the industrial age. See, they was in agricultural age. So they need workers. So they drug our people over here, right, and put them to work. Also to show them how to run an agricultural economy, because they didn't know, because they had raped Europe, they had destroyed Europe, the agricultural economy, and the agricultural economy of Europe, they had destroyed it. That's why they came fleeing over the world looking for some other place to rob. So America switched to industrial age, from an agricultural age. Start machines and factories. They start So up north they call plantations plants. It's still the same thing, right? So as a result, they want to employ their workers, but the slaveholders, what they would do is they would train their slaves to do the factory work, plant work, and send them up north, right, to take those jobs, right, for low prices, cheap labor. And that was causing a problem because the North was upset about that because they couldn't compete with that cheap labor. I mean, they could undercut any salary or any whatever wages the North was paying because the slave wasn't going to get the money. The master was getting it. He just had to make sure he had enough food so he could, as long as he made any kind of profit, it was fine with him. So he could always undercut with northern workers making. So that was a problem. And so the northerners, they didn't like that. And so it has nothing to do with freeing slaves. That was an after effect. In fact, uh, they wasn't doing you any favor when they freed you, when they freed you, because they didn't do it because they loved you, because they throw you out in the ditch and leave you nothing. After hundreds of years of breaking work, and oppressions, rape, and everything else, they didn't give you anything. They just threw you in the ditch. They threw vipers in behind you. Who's the vipers? The demons. They're children. Slave masters' children. They threw the vipers in behind you. See? So the North said, okay, well, let's compromise here. Let's take, and not, because they was moving westward. They said, okay, no more slavery past, I forgot, Mason-Dixon line, whatever, right? And the North said, the South said, no, we can't tell us where we won't have slaves at. And from constitutional point of view, the South was right. The slave master was right. I mean, that was slave rights. They could have slaves they want to, and the Constitution said they couldn't. In fact, it was engraved in the Constitution, right? 3/5 of human, all that kind of stuff. So the South was right on that point. So when they wouldn't give in on that, right? Then, Lincoln came in. The North was getting real upset about it, right? So then they started talking about ending slavery. Not because they cared about you, because they didn't want the competition, free the cheap labor. But they really couldn't do anything constitutionally about it. So it was like a battle of nerves. If I recall it properly, it was Fort Sumter, where the South just overplayed his hand and attacked. So the war was on. The war was on. See, so they could say, well, the southern states attacked the northern states, so they get around the Constitution, because the scriptures tell us that their Constitution ain't worth shit. They say their laws and everything is just like a wall of bricks with no mortar. Anyone that knows anything about bricks and mortar, if you build a wall and don't put any mortar between it, then I don't care how big it is, how many bricks it is, you can just push it over. And they say that's what they're like. So you can't trust them. Their words don't mean anything. Their Constitution don't mean anything. It mean anything. It sounds like it's something. See, but it's nothing. I mean, they technically, right? Because they can put you back in slavery in a heartbeat. All you got to do is majority rule. In fact, it's right inclined. It's enshrined right in the Constitution. Because I mean, if you break any laws, anything, you're right back in slavery. That's what prison's all about. But you don't understand because you ain't paying attention. See. So America got in real trouble financially, economically. They can just vote you right back in the farm, in the hill, and nothing, the damn thing you can do about it. But you don't see, you don't believe that. So you think, oh, well, there's a difference between the Republican and Democratic Party. Not in regards to you, it ain't. It's just their approach, how they deal with you. So the South overplayed this hand and ended up losing that war. See, that was the physical, had some physical change. They lost that war, right? Then they went to the next. See, the South always been adjusting. They're like chameleons. They adjust the situation because their purpose is clear. They haven't changed their purpose. They changed their method. So they went to Jim Crow, segregation, right? See, so it went from physical to social. And that went on for what, about 100 years? See, still Democratic Party. Demon-CRATIC Party, still them. See, that was the South. See, no. Segregation, you know, what they call chain gangs. You know, they can finish anything, they need work. They put you, the law says if you broke the law, right, you can put you right back in slavery. That's what the law says. They're going to put you right back into it. That's what they was doing. So they call them chain gangs then. You was criminals. They're still doing today. You think those prisoners sitting around lifting weights, you know, playing with you and scratching your butt? No, you were doing work for cheap labor, almost nothing. But they're not telling you that, and these demons ain't telling you that. So we're going to talk about these demons in a minute because they're the tool by which they, by how they achieve their goals. So then, right, that was causing a problem for the North also. See, it was all causing an economic problem. See, because they wanted the economics of black people, the creativity of black folks spending money and carrying on. They saw a big market there, like they saw China, big market. I can make money. It was two reasons they built up China. First of all, to keep us from getting jobs, and second of all, right, because of a big market. They want people buying and selling. That's the problem they have with Islam. To do a sidetrack here, because it's conservative. They don't believe in usury, and they don't do all the, you know. So therefore, they want to break that open up, and because they want to sell their goods and stuff. So you don't understand that because you don't pay attention to stuff. You in school, if you're in school at all, right? You study social studies. So then they fought for that battle. You see, and they lost that battle. The North won that one. So they said, well, hell, we couldn't, because see, they was trying to bring you back in slavery to the back door, and they was succeeding in doing it. See, because you still segregated, and slightest little infraction, because you couldn't vote, and infraction, you was right back on the chain gang in prison. So just a different, you know, different approach, but the result was the same. So now they said we can't be in that way. So they switched gears. Now they went political. See, because they realized that the North, that was their leverage, was your vote. Because see, most blacks would vote Republican at that time. Because the Republican Party was supposed to be the party that saved black folks and so forth, which they didn't. They didn't get him 40 acres of mule. And you read what Lincoln really said. He didn't care about you. He said you weren't equal to him. And he didn't think you should ever have social activity with us. He wanted to ship you out for you. I was down for that. Yeah, let us go. I don't care anywhere. I'd go to Mars anyway, get away from you. So they went political. See? Because they start patting you on the back. We love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. And a lot of us were so happy. The slave master was talking to us. See, a lot of people say, what was that woman? That woman wrote that book about Jim Crow. I can't remember her name is. I got the book here. And she talks about how Jim Crow and how Bill Clinton was all this and all that kind of stuff. And all the stuff he was doing. And then she said, it was an interesting remark she made. And she says, but Clinton would sit down and talk with you, with black people, and you know, and play music with them, and associate with them. And that removed all, that trumped all, not to make a pun here, that trumped all the stuff they did. Just because you were so happy that they would pat you on the head. If they pat your head, that was all you needed. Oh, he pat me on the head. So you didn't care if it was a racist, whatever, as long as he pat you on the head. And that's what Clinton did. because all his policy was totally, absolutely racist. Every one of them. See, 3-strike laws, sending jobs over to China, abortion, all that. He pushed all. And so his racist wife. See, but she was elected. We ain't gonna, she try to talk like black folks. And hot sauce and all this garbage, right? Check something here. I ain't gonna miss anything without, you're upset. I shouldn't did that. Shouldn't did that. I'm gonna leave it. So, because here's all this policy, if you look at them, all of it. So he's had to come at you politically. But this will be a democracy, right? Now, we're talking about critical analytics here. We ain't talking about no BS, emotionalism. You're not gonna get that here. If that's what you want, buy. You're not gonna get that here. See? And we know most of you, not on the analytical level, an emotional level. Because I gotta say Jesus, 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 every other word, and then you listen. Otherwise, if I don't say the word Jesus, boy, you already got off here. But in a democracy, your power is, by definition, right? Majority rules. Whoever's the most rule. That's the idea, right? Something here and check something. Oh, okay. That works. And let me check something else then. Maybe I can get this to work. Hold on for brothers and sisters. My brothers and sisters here. See how it makes you. How this works here. I forgot how this works. Let's see. Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hold on, brothers and sisters. I want to make it available to anyone who, that might want to, join. No, I'm not going to touch that. Okay, hold on, brothers and sisters here. Chain of thought here. Let's see. Because this is an open forum, and I'm still working, trying to work the bugs out. Work the bugs out here. Okay, it's going to take a while. Okay, so while it's working. Okay, so, here we go. Okay, one more thing here. One more. I'm going to try to keep this down to a half an hour. I think I probably well past that already. Okay, one more thing here. I'm trying to. Getting better at it, brothers and sisters. Getting better at it. Oops. Getting better at it. Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, there you go. And check one more thing out here. Oops, there you go. Okay, see if that works. Okay, so as I was saying, the democracy let me move this out the way. Everything out the way here. Still doing that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, well, I'll survive it. At any rate, the idea of democracy is majority rules. That's the idea. That's the idea, majority rules. So, if black people were the majority in the country, they would rule the country. So, if you want to maintain your control, if you're the majority, then you want to keep the minority the minority. And how do you do that? You keep their population down. So how do you do that? Well, what are the democratic policies in this country? Democratic Party's policies. Abortion. The founder of abortion, Margaret Sanger, that was a stated goal to keep black population down or eliminate it altogether. That was the reason why she set up Planned Parenthood. But you don't want to care about that. You don't care about that. So. Then Bill Clinton comes along and all these prison, 3-strike laws. You stay in prison forever, right? At least long enough till you can't reproduce anymore. See? So now you got abortion. That stops it, right? Then you got the other side of it where, right, you're putting the men in prison so they can't reproduce in prison. And with someone when they come out, it's too late, too late anyway. So that's two ways, right? Both of those are Democratic parties. They push very hard. They're not Republican Party. I'm not saying Republican Party is better because, they had a different approach. They don't want you either. See? But Democrats are openly with it. Just pat you on the back. Oh, we love you. So you got two policies right there. And they're very effective because they've already killed 22 million black babies already. Now, if those babies had babies, you might be the majority in this country right now. You'd definitely be a lot more. It's about 34 million in the country right now. You'd be at least 100 million by now. At least 100 million because 22 million would have made 52 million by itself. Would have made 100, but yeah, made 50 million by itself. Or 50 million, almost 60 million, right, by itself. If they had children, that's over 100 million. That would definitely put you very close to being the majority of this country, if not. You didn't say anything about that, and that's Democratic Party policy. See, if in democracy, that's the weapon. If that's the game you're playing, if you're playing chess, you want to take the king. You don't care about Yeah, the queen's on the way to getting the king, but you know, you can't do anything to get the king. And in democracy, king is population. They already took your king. Took it. You already lost your game. See? Okay, so you got two sides of it right there. Stop your population. Then what's the third side? There's a third side. Okay. They said, remember, Detroit used to be like a mecca of black entrepreneurship, black financial, middle class success. Now it's a basket case. Why? Because Bill Clinton and his ilk sent all your jobs over to China. They ain't do it just because of economic reason to make money from China. Because now China's a powerhouse that they're getting ready to go to war with. The China's going to kick their ass. But they made China powerful because China was a basket case trying to keep you down. Because when they went to the industrial age and they especially moving to the AI age and they needed, the demand was great, that means they had to employ you. See, and the success they had, success you was having in Detroit would have been spread all over the country. They couldn't have that. They're going to have that because then, right, you become a political power because you got economic. See, the political power in America is driven by economics. So you have an economic power, so you have no influence in that sense, right? So they keep on their policies of eliminating you, keeping you down. And so therefore your job's raised. So now you can't, now you're saying, well, we can't afford children. So they're taking birth control pills. Every time a woman, she sneezes, she goes, doctor, oh, doctor, I sneeze, a hysterectomy. Or she give birth, they give a hysterectomy, she don't even know she had it. Tie tubes, she don't even know they done it. Or she knows she can't have more babies. See? Or the baby is stillborn, she don't even know why. No, they tell her it was stillborn. All this is going on, right? That means your power is diminished. And you think that's it? That's all this. Look at these policies. This is critical analytics. There's no bullshit here. We're talking about critical analytics here. All those keep, because remember, they went from enslaving you, they lost that war, right? It wasn't because they was trying to free you or love you, and Lincoln made that clear, to the social war, they lost that one. That was based on economics too. Both those were based on economics, because economics was the true religion of America. Capitalism is the true religion of America. What do you think slavery is all about? Slavery is about profit. The less you have to pay your employees, the more profit you make. So if you have to pay your employees anything, that means you make maximum profit. Don't you understand any of this? That's what slavery is all about, capitalism. To get you to work without having to pay you the minimum. All they had to do is give you enough food to, and that was garbage food, but just enough to keep you working. So it's all about economics. So then you went phase one, right? That's agricultural age, then industrial age, now you went AI age. And so it's all your jobs. So now you can't afford to have children, right? I mean, your young men in prison, and they turn them into homosexual and everything else. See, that's another stage. All these stages geared to one thing. You see, the commonality between all these things is geared to keep your population down, destroyed, and that's what the scripture says they would do. It's all geared for that. See, so now you can't afford to have children. So now you're taking birth control. You see, or aborting. If you have the child, you abort it. Then, if that's not enough, then they want to bring everybody across the border. I mean, this is their country. I ain't blaming them. They took the country away from them. So the Americans are the illegal aliens, right? And we were dragged up here, so we ain't had no part of that unless you buy into it. That's one thing I'm gonna say aside. If you see a person out there doing evil and you support that person, then you scripturally are, even by their law, accessory after the fact, right? Then you as guilty as that person. You get the same punishment. So you voting and buying this Democratic Party and everything, America's going to be judged. It says God is not mocked. America's going to be judged for everything they've done. And so when they get you to buy into that means you're going to take part of that judgment. That's why it says, I will judge my people. Because if you take part of that, then because you're supporting that, you're helping that. When they force you up, it's one thing. But now you're doing it because you want to do it. And because these demons, slave masters' children, are encouraging you to do it. But let's go to the next stage. What's happening? Now they want to bring everybody across the border. What does that do? That's taking your jobs again. Makes you don't have anything. Keep you down economically. So you can't afford children again. See? You can't afford to educate your children. And while you judge up church, Jesus, Lord, and everything else. See? Because they don't give you a false vision. Because that's not a true vision. You go to heaven after you die. No matter how bad they treat you, you love them. Oh, it says that in the sealed Bible. Because that was the book. See, that's why you don't understand. You don't want to know about the Quran. The Quran tells you. And even the people that claim they know, they don't understand it. Because it said they will be given guidance. Adam was made to make mission and shed blood. That's them. And they was given guidance, right? So if you make someone to make mission shed blood, that means you want to give them the guidance to show them how to be effective in making mission and shed blood. And that's what they did. That's what the sealed Bible does. So it advocates slavery. It advocates oppression of women. It advocates stealing people's land and murder and all that kind of stuff. But that's a sealing. But remember, it was sealed until Suleiman or Son of Man will come in and unseal it, right? To be the guidance for the elect, the saints, the true guidance. See? So anyway, so all these programs. And so now, see, remember they're going against you politically. So they got you patting you on the head, but you can't, and you're so blind, you're so heavy patting your head, you can't see what they're doing to you. That's why I said it says it will come upon you as a snare. That means they're planning. It says the book says, let's deal shrewdly with them. That means deal with them where they don't see it. So you think it's not happening? If they tell you that's what expect to happen, so happen, then tell me if you say you believe in the Bible and it says we're coming as a snare, right? And it says let's deal with them shrewdly. Then tell me if you understand what that means. Tell me how are they doing it? How are they doing it? If you know, tell me how they're doing it. What's your program? How they come at you shrewdly? What kind of plan? What they doing in clandestine, right? In secret, that's to set you up. How are they doing it? If you know, listen to Mr. Farrakhan, see, because he's part of it. See, he's part of it. Because Elijah Muhammad said that part of the reason why they want to keep us here as a hostage, because they know in the scriptures tell you that God will not destroy a country as long as there's righteous in there. That's why I tell Abraham a lot to get the hell out of there. Then our creativity, our power of creativity, because we're their wealth. That's another story. See? But all these policies are weapons, because that's the way you fight in a democracy. You fight your enemies by keeping his population down. Because you control him because you have a greater population. So you have these black women, they're so drugged out, so dumbed down, that they stop by Planned Parenthood and abort their child on the way to making a vote. Now, how does that make any sense? They just neutralized, they just destroyed their vote. They just killed a voter. But that's what have you thinking, because you don't think. Critical analytics doesn't affect you at all, because they already gave you a mind that will not deal with critical analytics, because there's nothing that you can take and apply critical analytics to Christianity. You can't. Now, any religion out there, actually, but you can't apply any critical analytics, because if you did, you wouldn't be with it 1 second. Because none of it makes any sense. If your daughter came to you, say you was out in the desert. You was out in the desert with your daughter for 5, 6 months, whatever, right? Just you and her. Right? Then you come back, and as soon as you're back, you find out that she's 2 months pregnant. She said, I don't know. You ain't going to believe that. You're going to look around. There's got to be a boy out there somewhere. Something happened. Because you ain't going to believe the fact she told you that God did it. It was you ain't gonna believe it. Ain't nothing gonna make you believe that. Nothing in this world will make you believe that. Nothing. And you know it. You know she lied something. She put some burn board out there or something. She did something. But ain't nowhere in the world that baby didn't come out having a man there somehow. Somebody was there, something. Somebody snuck out there. You ain't gonna believe it. Because Master told you believe it. Makes no sense, but you believe it. See? So we're applying the critical analytics here. Now, the Democratic Party, right? Their main agents are demons. Now, demon is slave master's children. They look like you, walk and talk. They ain't you. They were the same when was in the fields. Master children came with the Bible. What was he telling you? Was he telling you that you should be free, you should go home and all that kind of stuff? No, he wasn't telling you. He told you should work harder for Master. You should love Master no matter how hard Betty treats you. You should love him. So the worse he treats you, you should love him more. So how do you expect to get better treatment if you love somebody that's mistreating you? Because they see you love them mistreating, they're going to treat you more because they want you to love them more. It makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. But you bought into it. See? They had little minstrels, right? They did a thing on the weekend. So you and Lee, that's the entertainers. Little minstrel shows. See? You're still doing the same thing now. You're still in the plantation now, do the same thing. Just upgraded terminology. See? So you stay here because they said let's leave. It's time to go home back to promised land. Oh man, I gotta stay and watch the game, man. I gotta watch NBA. Can we watch NBA first? That's your mentality. That same thing that they use that on because they know you like music and stuff. So they had little minstrels, right? And so you work all hard on during the week, right? So on Saturday, on Sunday, right? You can be part of the minstrel show or watch the minstrel show. And while all along the preacher telling you, man, you gotta be loved Master. See? And then you put Master's picture on the wall. Make sure you know that you're still going to serve Master when you leave this world. And that Master on here, he's going to treat you based on how good a boy you was in this world, how good a slave you was on this world. That's how that Master is going to judge you when you get to after you die. They get you gumming and going, and you just buying it all. You put this hook, line, and sinker, right? And you make sure your children think that way too, not non-thinkers. You may think it. Don't ask no questions. That's just the way Master says. That's the way it is, right? Or you don't say Master, you say Jesus. See, because that's Master, ain't it? He's the ultimate Master, ain't he? You can't even prove he ever existed. Where you get the Bible from? You got it from your enemy. The Hindus got a Bible too. So does Buddhists. So where those come from? Christians got one too. So they got you going and coming because critical analytics is not part of your program. Your program is based on just BS, whatever emotion, you got your emotional level and whatever, however you feel. That's why when you go to church, it's nothing about critical analytics. It's not even about scripture. It's about choir, how good the preacher can hum and hoar, talk in tongues, right? How many sisters can put a good performance. I got the holy. That's what it's all about. Nothing about thinking. And you make sure your children, and then you understand why they are in trouble. Because you don't told them from the time they were born, right? They better not think about this. It's faith, 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 faith. And you don't even know what faith is. See, faith is tethered to facts. Belief is not tethered to anything. See, you can believe that pot on the stove is going to jump up and turn into a gold mine. You can believe that. You can believe that Superman came from Krypton. You can believe that. That's a belief. See, but faith is that you put fire under that pot that's got water in it, right? And based on knowledge, based on science, you have faith because you don't know, but you have faith that it's going to boil. That's the difference. But you got confused. See, because your faith, you think your faith, what you call faith, we have no mathematical background, no mathematical anything, you understand? Nothing to support it. Nothing. 1 second here. Well, alaikum salam, brother. I just saw your message. So, um, let me see something right quick. Because we have it where people can join if they want to and say something or get involved in this. So I'm see if anybody still trying to figure this thing out, work it out. I'm getting better, I think. If anybody decided to join or whatever, no, not yet. So okay. So we're gonna close out anyway pretty soon. Uh-oh, it's out the way. Okay. So, and you're doing that to yourself. You're doing it to your children. You tell them, don't think that man on the wall there. Why he's white? Don't ask no question about that. Where do you come from? You can't ask no question about that. What happened to your dad? Don't ask no question about that. Just you believe, you just believe. See? Now, if Sister Soldier down the street, right? And y'all are bitter enemies. And she tells you a storm's coming tomorrow. You're going to say, man, get out of my face. I ain't going to hear it. You ain't going to hear nothing she got to say. You see? Because right away, everything she said, you're going to question. But then this master's been kicking our ass and raping us people for 20 years, and you believe everything you say. Everything. It don't have to make any sense at all. It has to make no sense. In fact, the more crazy it is, the more you believe it. Because, man, it's got to be beyond our ability to understand it. It's beyond your ability to understand it. But yet still, everything around you is based on mathematics, based on facts. Everything around you is based on mathematics. You can't show me anything that's not based on mathematics. Show me one thing that's real. Don't tell me something. It's visible spirit you ain't never know anything that you don't know exists. Don't tell me about some mystery God that you don't know exists. Everything around you, everything, this universe, no matter how far out they look, how deep inside they look, is mathematics. Because they thought, some mystery God was making in the womb. Because that's, the Quran seems to say something like that. And because 400 years they had no microscope. Then when they found looking at the microscope, they ain't see nothing down there but DNA, mathematics. There wasn't no God waving back, hey, I'm down here at work. Even Farrakhan pushing that nonsense because he's trying to drag you back 400 years. See, to back to oblivion, mental oblivion. That's what Sunnis, they're in mental oblivion because they're out of sync of time. They're holding on to the past. So they're trying to revive Prophet Muhammad's empire. See, the Christians, they way back. The ones that's updated. When they say separation of church and state, you didn't get that. You didn't get that. See, that means they put religion back on the back burner, right, and put mathematics on the front burner, and that's what they're kicking your ass with. Not Christian, not religion. Oh no, they let you kick yourself in the ass with religion because they know as long as you got religion, you ain't thinking. Because in a way, possibly you could be thinking analytically, clinically, and you believe in your reality is based on bullshit. Because that's your religion. Your whole reality is based on bullshit, not rational, not reason, and that's what he got for you. But they whooping the world, not with prayer, not religion. They're whooping the world's ass with what? Mathematics, pure and simple. But they got you locked down, right, with bullshit. See? Because you're not doing any critical analytics, and you're not letting your children do it, so therefore you're failing in school. Because you already told them their success in life is not dependent upon their abilities with math, science, right, logical, critical thinking. No, their success in life depends on Jesus. That's what you told them. Don't tell me you ain't telling them that. Because I told you, oh man, I ain't telling. Yes, you are. Like I told this person to me, I said, something, when these children, before they can walk, you tell them, if you don't listen to Jesus, you're going to hell. Oh, we don't tell you a damn lie. You can tell your children that. Because I was told the same damn thing. You're threatening with it. You got to believe in Jesus or you're going to hell forever, never, never. Not a week, not a year, not 6 years, not 600 years. You ain't never come out of that, nigga. because you don't believe in what Master says. And Master been kicking your ass. See? And you can't get away from Master. See? Don't run off this phone, because when you die, see him on the wall, Master's going to get you when you die. Because that's where you're going. That way, man, he's going to be your master when you get to where you're going. And if you don't do right, he got something for you. He's going to burn your ass up. That's what you're telling your children. And so you think that's not affecting their minds? And so you understand why they're not going anywhere, and they're walking around with their pants hanging down, and they can't do good in school and everything else. Because why? Why study? Why do anything? It all depends on Jesus. I'm not going to be successful doing that unless Jesus says I'm successful. Because you're teaching them fatalism. See? The destiny. They have no control over anything. The Farrakhan's teaching the same old garbage. We have no control over nothing. We don't have control how long we live. Yet there's a book called How to Live. But no, we don't have. See, they tell you this stuff is bait. All the stuff they give you, how you live, message the black man, that's just bait. Because they knew it was effective in getting you. Just like a fish, he goes for this worm, but then when he get it, boy, that's the end of his ass. And once they get it, you ain't getting anything. Once they pull you in, you ain't getting any of that. You get Scientology, you get a whole bunch of Sunnis, all kinds of BS. You ain't getting any of that stuff. See, that's what the deal is. Teaching the same thing. Well, you don't. Mother and father had nothing. They had nothing to do with your. God made you in the womb. He's in the womb making. And the parents had nothing to do with it. So how you explain crack babies? See, how you explain deformed babies? Oh God, well, he made a mistake. See, you ain't gonna ask those type of questions because they already took your ability to ask those type of questions. They took your ability to even question anything because they disarmed you, brothers and sisters. And that's democratic. That's why you're voting for them. That's why you see the whole world right now is focused on. That's why I said we're talking about current events. You say it's had no current events. Yes, it does. Because right now, the point I'm trying to make here, I'm trying to bring all this to a close. The point is that it says, "Oh, come you as a snare." That means all the stuff they're doing right now is setting you up. It says, "Well, come as a snare." Do you know? Look up snare. That means you walk to a trap. You don't know it, and then and it's too late. It happens suddenly. It says, "Come you as a snare." And we're trying to show you what a trap is so you don't walk into it. Because once you get into it, you ain't getting out, brother. So we can't get you out of it. Once they snatch you in that snare, you're gone. That's why I said my people are lost for lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge of what? Or what they got planned against you. That's what you lack of knowledge of. And we're trying to educate you. So brothers and sisters, think about it. See? Come and help your brothers and sisters wake up. It's a call to action. See? No. See? Go here and become a mathematician. See, when you understand the idea of Muslim, all it means is just, so you get locked into the word. Or just translate it. It just means somebody in submission to God. Total submission. But we don't even know God is. God is mathematics, period. It's true and simple. That's the nature. So when you totally submission to mathematics, then you're wise. Because that's the nature of things. If you're out of sync of that, you're in trouble. See? So you need to come over and start thinking mathematically. See? And join our angel warriors. And see, learn how to have foresight to see ahead of yourself. So you can move and start transferring, creating time. That's what angel warrior does. See? Well, that's what time lords do. Control time. Because time is not something just there. We control time. We're time travelers, but some of you not controlling time because you're in the wake of those who are controlling time. I give you an example, and then I'm going to shut it down. Say this mystery God or whatever. His plan is to burn up America. Okay. Because future doesn't exist yet. You have to make it exist. You have to give it form. So that's he's giving it form. Right now it's a vision that he's trying to bring into a reality. And that reality is that he wants to burn this country up, purify whatever reason. It's like we came over as slaves with, right? So now you out of sync with that. And so when it burns up, you hear and you get burned up with it. That's what we're talking about time travelers. We're time travelers. But either you on time Or are you out of time? We're trying to get you on time because the world is changing. Are you changing with it? Or is it, well, like it says, it'll be a stone. It says a stone, who the stone fall, you fall you fall against the stone and be broken, but a stone fall and you be crushed. So are you with time or are you behind time? Going behind time, it means you're going to be a victim of time. We're trying to get you on time. See, the angel tells you, it says, it said, till a desolation are determined. That means all these things, the Quran tells you this. So, and the Bible tells you also. That means all these things are determined. In other words, because they already know what the God's going to do. So they're telling you what the God's going to do. So if he tells you the God's going to have a meteor storm right in America at a certain date, so you know, so you won't be there. Because all life is all about timing. See? You could be ahead of the accident, behind the accident, or in the accident. You could be ahead of the storm, behind the storm, or in the storm. So the angel tells you the forecast. So you see a storm coming, you get the hell out the way. Angel does for you. See? So you come over and you start learning the angel. Then you become an angel warrior. See? But you advance, right? And you become a time lord. Because now you're forming time. You're with the God forming time. Because how do you think this? The promised land is there. It's promised. It's a vision. But how does it come reality? We have to make it a reality. Brothers and sisters, you think, oh, it's a promise or some mystery or it's just going to come. No. We have to, it's a vision. That's why people don't have a vision fail, because they ain't going anywhere. You have a vision. That's our vision. And we have to make it happen. And those of us that are making it happen will achieve it, will be rewarded with it. Those that are not making it happen will not be rewarded with it. How do you think you're going to get to the hereafter if you don't make it? You got to make it. It's not going to just happen. You purchase the hereafter. That's why it says those who love this world's life, they purchase it. They get it. They didn't purchase hereafter. You got to purchase hereafter. That's why when you be tried, you have to purchase it. That means you have to create it. So come over here, right, and be a messenger of the covenant. Help create. Because it's going to be created. Whether you're part of it or not. There's only one person, then that one person will create it. And his seed will be, I'm going to say this with one thing. Do you realize that most people on the planet right now, if you go back about 40,000 years ago, 30,000 years ago, they're the seed of maybe 5 or 10 people? You ever think about that? See, they give idea on Noah's Ark, because only 8 people with Noah's 9 people. That means everybody else was destroyed. So that means everybody, if you leave that story as they write it, everybody on the planet right now is just those 8 people, 9 people. So that means billions of people, all is gone. Their seed is gone, terminated. So we're the seed of just a few people that was time travelers, right? That stayed on time, going back maybe 30,000 years ago, at some point, right? Those are the ones that kept on traveling. So we see them. We see the other ones lost, they're gone. It's like sperm goes into the female, right? Only one gets to that egg. The rest of them, it's millions of them. Millions of them. The rest of them flush down the toilet. The rest of them flush down the toilet. And believe me, they're conscious on a certain level of consciousness because they're alive. And that little few days that they're alive and everything, for them, that's a whole lifetime. Just like a fly. A fly lives, what, about a week? But that's it. It's like, for him, it's like 100 years, right? Like a dog, right? His dog years, dog about 7, 8 years, and that's like them, it's like a lifetime. So that's for them, it's like a life, but they don't never get to the next existence, never get to the next level. Because you got to get in the aid to get to the next level, to where we are right now. See? And so hereafter is the next level. Are you going to get to it? It's called action, brothers and sisters, right? Because like I said, it's only 144,000. And I'm going to explain that number to you one of these days. It says that's the only ones that are going to, out of billions, is going to make it to the hereafter and start a new reality. That means all other billions, because it says it's going to be billions of people destroyed. It says it's going to be destruction like you never imagined. So you, what majority of people right now, their seed will never go past this time. See, in other words, their time traveling days are over. And we're going to still travel into the future. Those of you who are still time travelers want to be time lords. Otherwise, then you want to be a scriptee. You want to be a time anchor. Okay, then you're going to be lost in time. See? And that's okay. See? Because they have a certain thing they call, I can't think of the name of it right now, culling. In the animal world, right? Because the lions always catch the old zebras, the weak one, the diseased one. So that keeps the zebra herd strong, healthy, because they don't have the weak ones and the cancerous ones, the old ones. They keep putting their seed back in. It's called culling. And that keeps the herd strong. And so we have the same thing. That's why you have to keep getting scripture. That's why the science keep giving scripture. That's why I write scripture like that. Because those that keep up with the time, the scripture, the new reality, they move on. And the rest, they're left behind. They're the weak because they wouldn't, they're time travelers, but they couldn't keep up with the time. So we don't want them. Because they're going to drag everybody else back. That's the difference between a believer and a disbeliever. So we calling all you potential believers out there, right? To get on board, help wake up the rest of our brothers and sisters. Because you already paid the price. It's remarkable because you already paid the price. Now you don't want the gift. I mean, you don't want the product you paid for. You don't want it. How does that make sense? You let somebody flim-flam you? You don't pay for a Lamborghini, and you go to the dealer and you go to pick it up, right? You know, been paying for it for years, installment plan. Now you pay for it. Then you go, you're going to let them talk you into getting a BMW? Oh, man, you don't need that Lamborghini, man. That's too expensive right there. Why don't you take this BMW, same price now? You want to flim-flam you onto that one? Is that what you want to do? That's what you're doing. Oh, no, you just stay here. That's fair. You just stay here. We're going to stay here and work with America. We're going to stay here. We're going to bring them into the NOI, and we're going to do all this stuff, which is totally against the Elijah Muhammad's program. Is that what you're going to do? You want to let somebody flip-flam you? When you already paid for the Lamborghini, you pay for the promised land, right? You pay for the be gods of this planet, the best part of planet Earth, to go into the future, to go into immortality, a great gift that you can't even imagine. You already paid for it. And you're going to let some flim-flam like blind-ass Farrakhan flim-flam you out of it? Because I'm saying the demons are our greatest enemy right now because their whole thing is to distort our vision, to shortcut it, short-circuit it. That's their whole purpose. Give you a counter vision. See, send you down dead in the street, 2,021 miles per hour. Until you hit that wall, then you realize you're dead in the street. You can't turn around. It's over. That's where they're sending you. They tell you, they follow America, right? You see that book? Isn't the whole America burning? Is there a little spot that's not burning? So why he tell you stay here? If he tell you he believes what that book says, but then he tell you you're going to stay here? I mean, see, critical, analytical, you right now, you're the left and right on that one. He follows the devil. You ain't used, see, they got you. He removed you from critical analytical thinking. Elijah Muhammad got you on the road to critical analytical thinking, mathematical thinking, and he took it away from you so he can tell you anything. And you believe it. Okay, brothers and sisters, hope you understand. Anything here? See? Okay, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.